Sup Takers, Space Bandit here with another episode of World of Tanks. And I hope your Christmas was good. You got the gifts you were asking for, huh? You've been a good boy or girl this year. I hope you got what you wanted and you're happy with it. Wishing you all Happy New Year at the same time. Because why not? You know, new year, new start. Let's hope it's better than the last one. Today, I thought I'll make a video on a French Tier 8 French light tank, HMH AMX 58. Now, you guys know that I play the game just to have fun when I get on. So I have tendency pulling out tanks out of my ass that have been sitting in my garage and collecting dust. So this time we're on Monkey's account. Monkey doesn't play the game anymore, but I have access to his account, so I can play some of the tanks he has that I don't have. And this is one of those, HMH AMX 58. So I'm gonna show you a couple games in this tank today. A couple games that I played. Nothing spectacular. It was alright, just decent games. But overall question here in this video is whether this tank is worth it or not. And what do I make out of it? So let's leave judgment till the end of this video, so I can kind of tell you what I think about this tank. But let's quickly dive into stats and see what this tank is capable of. So in my honest opinion, this tank is very similar to AMX 13105, the French light tank at tier 10. So if you're planning on grinding to AMX 13105, it would be worth to pick up AMX 58 because the playstyle is pretty much the same, completely the same, I would say. So if you look at statistics and overall gameplay between these two tanks is the same, with exception of one is at tier 10 and the other one is at tier 8, obviously. But let's take a look at the pen The pen on this tank is 165 millimeters on standard rounds, which are APCR rounds. 210 millimeters of penetration on premium rounds, which are heat. And then you have 38 millimeters of penetration on the HE rounds. Now, just looking at the penetration values, they're pretty brutal, to be honest. At tier 8, especially with no preferential matchmaking, that means you're playing up to tier 10. 165 won't do anything. To anything, pretty much. I mean, even tanks at tier 8, their side armor could be as high as, 160 millimeters, even higher. So, any tank slightly angled, you're going to bounce that shell. And it's too bad because you're going to be forced to use premium rounds with 210 millimeter of pen, but the premium rounds are heat, which, to be honest, suck because I would probably prefer APCR rounds as my main round on this tank. So as you noticed in my videos, I'm carrying mostly heat rounds. I'm not carrying any standard rounds because if you want to be carrying standard rounds, then you pretty much need your ammo swapper in. Then that will take the equipment spot, which, to be honest, I don't want to be carrying because I need to be carrying other things on this tank. So, yeah, unfortunately, I'm not using any APCR rounds on this tank. If that penetration was a little bit higher, somewhere in the range of 180-ish, then, yeah, I would definitely carry some rounds. But, yeah, keep that in mind. If you're grinding towards 105, tier 10 light tank, it also has pretty shitty APCR penetration. The rounds are exactly the same. You have APCR, heat, and HE. APCR round penetration is 234 on a tier 10, which is pretty brutal, to be honest. I mean, it's workable, but it's still brutal, I would say. Maybe on 105, you might want to carry a magazine of APCR rounds, but again, you probably need ammo swapper at that point. Now, the damage itself is 300 HP per shell, meaning APCR and heat, and 370 HP damage on the HE rounds, which are 38 millimeter pen. Again, 38 mil is nothing. Can't even shoot arty because most of them, their armor is over 50 millimeters. So, yeah, you won't be able to pen. So there's no point of loading the magazine of 38 millimeter rounds, in my opinion. Now, the 300 millimeter pen on heat rounds and APCR rounds, in many cases, you're not going to even roll close to 300. And as an example, you can see in my games, I'm rolling barely. Actually, I don't know if I even roll over 300 in any of the games that I'm showing you. So, yeah, not the greatest either. Like, if you would actually be rolling around 300 or more, I would say this tank would be workable, but because you're not, like, you're rolling to 60 to 70 to 80 most of the time, it's just not good enough. Especially since the reload is pretty brutal on this thing. I think with my setup, I'm running 27-second reload. Overall stock, it's at about 30 seconds. So imagine doing, 280, maybe, let's assume 280 HP over 30 seconds. That's 840 HP in 30 seconds. I mean, if you compare it to, I guess, TDs, high alpha TDs, their reload times are in the range of, mid-20s, maybe 30s. So it makes sense from that perspective, I would say. But still, you're a light tank, you have no armor. And with the amount of small maps now in the game, and those maps being in rotation, it's not that easy to play this tank, to be honest. Not easy at all. So for experienced players, this might be quite a challenge. You might be wanting to try it just to see if you can make it work. But, man, it's pulling teeth. It's pulling teeth, guys. So yeah, I can't even get to the end of my video and not recommend this tank because it's absolutely terrible. It's brutal. I don't know. I mean, I don't know how Monkey got this tank. I hope that he didn't buy it. I'm assuming that he won it for free from some event or whatever. But yeah, I would not recommend this. Now, the reason I played it because I wanted to see if I want to grind to 105. But obviously, I'm not going to now after playing this tank. So yeah, Now, one thing that this tank does have is the camo. So if you deck it out in camo equipment and set up your commander for camo, your detectability range is quite good. Stock is 319 meters, both moving and still. So it's already pretty good. But if you deck it out for camo, your detectability range is going to be probably in the low 200s, which is what I have it set at now, I think. I'm going to try leaving the commander setup and the equipment in the description section below so that you guys can take a look at that. But that's the only thing that this tank has going for itself. It's literally camo and high alpha potential. So basically, you're forced to play this as a passive scout or more as a sniper, I would say, which is honestly a TD role. And if you end up in a game with other tier 8 light tanks that are much better than this, your team is just going to get fleeced, literally, because with this light tank, you can't go 1v1 versus another light tank because of the long reload. And if you miss one shot, you're pretty much fucked. Interclip on this thing is not the best either. You're talking about 3.25 seconds, which means, about 3-second interclip? It's pretty bad. You're going to get fleeced. Your team is going to get fleeced. So you can't really use it as a scout. I mean, you can use it as a scout on the bigger maps, right? Or if you find a good camo position, it will still work. But if you want to be an active scout, even the ground resistances or terrain resistances are not the greatest for this tank. So it has the mobility. It can get up to 68 kilometers per hour. But again, terrain plays a big role in how you play this tank. And if it's soft terrain, you're going to be struggling immensely. Now, fire chance, 15%. So, yeah, you don't necessarily need to use fire extinguisher. Although I got to tell you, I did get set on fire in this tank, even with 15% chance. If you get shot in the ass, you will get set on fire with this thing. So I would recommend some sort of fire extinguisher or preventive maintenance or something on a commander or in your equipment. But again, you're limiting your equipment spots if you do that, especially if you want to dress it up as a super camo machine. That's literally what you want to be doing. You want to be optimizing your gun performance and your camo performance, right? Because may as well work towards the strengths of this tank. Another thing I noticed is the gun itself is not very accurate. It can shoot potatoes here and there. The aim time is very, very slow. Let's see, what does it have for aim time? 2.3 second aim time. That's pretty darn long, especially for a light tank. So you have to stop, you have to aim your shot, and you fire a shell, which is heat because you're not carrying APCR rounds. And heat ammo velocity is 980 meters per second, which is garbage as well. Yeah, I don't really know. So this tank is supposed to be kind of a stealthy sniper spotter. You get yourself in a position, flanking position, and try and shoot the side of the tanks. But the problem is you can't even shoot side of the tanks with the penetration that you have. It makes no fucking sense. This tank makes no sense whatsoever, right? Your penetration should be at least 180, 185 millimeters on the APCR rounds, because with the drop off of a distance, your penetration will drop anyway. So what the fuck is 165 millimeter of pen? Honestly, you can't do anything with that. And if that APCR round had pen of 180 or 185, for example, then you can still utilize your APCR rounds that have shell velocity of 1460, which is fabulous. So you have this amazing ammo max speed, and you can't use it. You can't use the rounds because it makes no sense to use them. So, yeah, I don't know. I think Wargaming needs to consider buffing this tank slightly. Actually, I don't even think a lot of people are playing 105 as well. I used to see them on battlefields long ago, but when I play the game, if I play the game and when I play the game, I don't see those tanks at all. So maybe revive it a little bit, give it a little bit more pen on the standard rounds so the players can actually use it, or drop the pen on the heat rounds and increase the pen on the APCR rounds. Do something with it so the tank is at least usable. In my opinion, it isn't. And it's literally playing it as pulling teeth. Why would anyone want to put themselves in a depressing state of mind? Really, If you're playing this game, just don't play this tank. That's all I gotta say, guys. I mean, I've struggled through it. I played few games, just few games, handful. And I had a little bit of success. Okay, fine. They weren't the greatest games, but I still kind of managed to play. But lots of bots in the game nowadays as well, so keep that in mind. But sometimes you get a good lobby with decent players on both sides, and that's what the second game is. I felt like it was a little bit more representative of what this tank can actually do, because I did manage to do a little bit of spotting. Damage is going to be hard to come by. So when you play this tank, for the most part, I would say spotting ability and maybe tracking your position. Again, if you're carrying APCR rounds, you're not tracking much with 143 millimeters of penetration. Well, 143 millimeters of penetration, because that's how much the penetration drops off over distance. So yeah, 165 is just not good enough. 180, 185, that would be good, because then if your pen drops by 20 over distance to 165, it's still usable. But 165 still won't track anything. Or not many. Not many tanks at all. With the power creep in the game, unfortunately, that's... yeah, that tank is pretty much obsolete, guys. That's all I gotta say about this thing. So in this game, as you notice, I didn't even want to go head-to-head with the Vanguard, because Vanguard would completely obliterate me. So what you do in this tank is you run away from other light tanks, which is stupid, because idea of a light tank is to, first of all, scout, and second of all is to engage other light tanks, take them out of the game. But with this thing, I'm just scared to engage the light tanks, man, because it's awfully difficult to do anything. You miss a shot and you're done, pretty much. You miss one shot and you're fucked. So keep that in mind, guys. What else can I say about this tank? Armor, there's not much to talk about. It doesn't have any. View range 380 meters, which is good enough, because with the camo that this tank has, you can actually spot things quite well, I would say. So again, camo is a big strength of this tank, and that's how it should be played. Engine horsepower, I kind of mentioned terrain resistance. It has to do with engine power. 480 horsepower, it's not good enough, I would say, for this tank. It could use a few more ponies. 550 maybe. About 600 would be amazing. Signal range is not a problem, up to 745 meters. Not bad at all. And traverse speed about 22 kilometers per hour. So yeah, if you're in a bush, make sure to turn your tank around so that you can run away forward, because traverse speed is pretty bad, right? So you don't want to be sitting in a bush facing forward and then you back out and you get slaughtered by everything that's aiming at you after you get detected. To summarize, I don't think I need to. I think I already summarized enough. This tank is shit. Do not buy it. If you're thinking about grinding to AMX 105, tier 10 French light tank, after playing this tank, I wouldn't recommend it. I don't even have 105. That's why I played this tank. But yeah, it makes no sense, in my opinion, to grind to 105. There's so many other better French tanks at tier 10, like a Batchat. It's a medium tank, but plays like a light tank. Really, Batchat is amazing. Yeah, I would say don't grind the light tank line in a French line, because yeah, these tanks, even the wheelies, they're not anything spectacular. So if you really want to grind French, I would recommend grinding the medium tanks, which has all the Batchats, because Batchats are freaking spectacular tanks, and not only do they have clip potential and camo ability, but they can also bounce a shell here and there. Because of their armor design and their track width, they absorb a lot of shells and they bounce shots as well. So yeah, that's what I would say. Anyway, guys, I think I rambled enough about this stupid tank. Just don't get it. It sucks. There's so many other better tanks in the game, so enjoy those. Anyway, that's it for now. Until next time, happy tanking, Space Bandit. Check it out.